Yo, what's up, diggity dogs? Give me a high five! In the last episode, we did rankings of characters from She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, which is a good Netflix cartoon, and now we're doing rankings from a show that I probably should have done a lot earlier, ranking the characters of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And no, this is not a just to be sure, this is not a ranking from James Cameron's Avatar, the one with the shitty CGI blue people. A few hours ago I got done seeing the new movie. It's way too long if you ask me. I'll probably continue my rants about the film later, but and I had a roommate like last semester that was obsessed with the show. And I'm probably gonna text him that I inform him I made this video. So here we go, ranking the characters of not James Cameron's Avatar: The Last Waterbender. Now we start with our main character, Avatar Aang. He is a classic cartoon main character. He is upbeat, sticks to his ideals through the story, manages to find a balance in the end. He's, not just upbeat, but an optimist, very much cares about his friend, free-spirited, and stands for his element of air, without being an airhead, and that airhead at the same time. That was a pun. I really think that Aang, earns his place as, an inspiration for all these characters, nowadays, of, the lighthearted, not too intelligent, but still hot-headed, and, trying to make friends with everyone main character. Basically just a more naive version of, Naruto. Okay, he's probably a better character than Naruto, but still. And I like how, in Legend of Korra, a series I'm not as familiar with, they made him, this legendary hero in the end. So, he earned his place in S tier. Appa, also S tier, really Aang's best closest confidant, and one of the greatest mount creatures in all beasts of burden in all of animation. Really manages to be a really great homage to the Ghibli films, and really another good example of this show's creativity, having all characters be chimeric animals or fantasy creatures. So yeah, that guy goes in S. Next we get to Azula, S tier, one of the greater villains in cartoon history. I mean, it goes without saying, great voice performance, great balance between depraved villainy and moments of humanity. Had a good arc within within the graphic novels or something. Really a great example of the character, basically the more interesting minion to the big bad, but I think that was intentional. We'll get to the Fire Lord soon enough. But yeah, Azula, great character. B tier, don't remember much about this guy, but I remember he was voiced by the 2003 version of General Grievous. That was epic. Cabbage Guy S, he is yet another classic The Last Airbender character. I mean, it was a funny running gag, and fun fact, he's voiced by Jackie Chan, Jackie Chan from Jackie Chan Adventures. Sparky Boom Man, and yes, that's his actual name. A tier, I really like the example of the mute. I mean, you know how much I like The Boys, so you know how much I like the mute badass trope. Classic antagonist of the series. That guy, I forget who he is. I feel like he would be seen as racist nowadays, but I'm not sure. Monkey Atso, A tier. I feel like he was a traditional example of the wise old sage trope. But on the other hand, I think he's another example. On the one hand, having the entire air tribe wiped out, that was absolutely a sad, very great, horrid atrocity that happened. But on the other hand, I really feel like it stops us from fleshing out the air tribe, the air nomads. Feels like wasted potential. I mean, it's wasted potential, but that's the point. It's sort of a balance. But I'm glad in Legend of Korra the world was able to heal over time. That's Hakoda, A tier, best dad in the show, I guess. Really like how he doesn't just he isn't dead at the start of the story, but actually plays a role. And he does he does have a good balance of being like on and off, like in terms of his role in the story, and has a good enough excuse for leaving at the end. Hama, okay, this was the best one of the best one-off antagonists in the show. On the one hand, bloodbending, it's an utterly terrifying power that, I mean, it goes without saying it's epic. I mean, if you've seen Dead Man Wonderland, that anime is epic. You know how powerful, how cool that can be. But yeah, I really liked how this show could, like, veer just straight, downright into horror. And if you also play Dragon Age, you know that bloodbending is also a good trope in there. Really teaches a lesson about how, like, humans are 90%, how, like, humans are 70% water, or so I've heard. So, water is very important to them. Haru, to be honest, Haru is my least favorite of the Phantom Thieves. Like, I mean, least favorite. She's by all accounts a good character. But I really feel like she's introduced too late in the story to, like, I wasn't able to get to her confidant. I've never managed to max out all the confidants. There are, like, always, like, 5 or 7 I never managed to make any progress on. But Haru, it's just, like, that's, like, the Empress confidant. Very, sad example of that. Really wish I could have maxed out her confidant. Oh, we're talking about the rabbit girl from Beastars. No. And now we get to everyone's favorite, Uncle Iroh. S tier. This is just an S tier character for obvious reasons. He has an extremely sad backstory of going from a brutal general to a sad sage after losing his son, to being everyone's favorite dad joke cracking, Tila guzzling, chess playing sage. I love how, like, people are practically quoting this guy like he was an actual, like, philosopher that people make, like, cheesy wallpapers for, or, like, motivational posters for. Yeah, it earns the S tier. And the Makoto Uematsu, very sad that he passed away, but Greg Baldwin does a great job of replacing him, as he does with Akko from Samurai Jack. Jeong, B tier really shows that the Fire Nation isn't pure evil. That was never established from the go. But another great example of how, like, trying to find, like, a fire-bending teacher. Jed, I feel like this guy's, aged, like, I feel like he's aged, like, mix. Like, on the one hand, like, the violent freedom fighter, violent Antifa protester is an overused trope, just like in Falcon and the Winter Soldier and in Black Panther. Wakanda forever! But I feel like this guy, like, they did portray him with nuance. They did portray him as, like, his anger was understandable, and I like how they revived him in the middle of season 2. Great use of the arc, great showing of evolving over time. Jinora, that was a cute scene. Judy, there is no war in Ba Sing Se, and there is no... I feel like that was a waste of Lauren Tom, one of the most prominent East Asian voice actors in Western animation at the time, like, having her voice, like, character as one note as this, and with such an emphasis on East Asian culture. I'm not really one to ask, but my thoughts. June, okay, this character only appeared for 2 episodes, but she is easily one of the most underrated characters in the series. Like the badass punch clock villain mercenary. Criminally underutilized, great performance by Jennifer Halley, and like how she like had an actual like bond with her, like sort of like Aang with Appa, her with her mole, giant mole rat thing from that 2008 film City of Ember. That scene gave me a heart attack when I was younger. But anyway, yeah, June, like, you could probably see from a mile away why I think this character is underrated. Katara, A tier, great example of, like, the feminine female main character done right in a TV show. Like, I mean, she's nuanced, she's caring, motherly, but still has a vicious side when she seeks revenge, and has a great arc. Easily one of the, I mean, I love how, like, the chibi cartoon portrayed how she was shipped with, like, what was it, like 4 different characters. That scene was hilarious. I think the chibi Tiny Tales thing was one of the first time a cartoon actually managed to show being aware of its fan base. But yeah, great examples of one of the teen moms in animation, King Boomy. Okay, unlike a certain other, like, extremely elderly, on the one hand, I like how he, has, like, the Uncle Ruckus thing going on with, like, the, one fake eye. That looks hilarious. And on the other hand, unlike a certain other extremely elderly leader we have nowadays, he is not completely he is not completely senile and actually manages to get shit done, which is epic. The Earth King, okay, I mean, this, on one hand he was a puppet king, the other hand he was like an entertaining character at the same time. Not really hope he and his bear had a good time together. And also, good thing we don't, that major government figures nowadays aren't just complete puppets to big corporations, am I right? Avatar, Kyoshi, okay, good character. I feel like she was fleshed out in the book. Longfang, A tier, because, based on one hand he was like a good, like, the evil, scheming advisor trope. It's cliche, but it's done right here. But on the other hand, he but what really gets him into A tier is the fact that he's voiced by Mr. Krabs! Hey, gay, 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 gay!
Ahoy SpongeBob! I've overdosed on ketamine, and I'm going to die!
This guy, B tier. My, B tier really felt like a bit too stoic, to be a compelling character. I don't really remember her that much. I feel like they were trying to, like, have did the music stop, guys? Wait, there it goes. So my, B tier character felt like a, forced remaining love interest for Zuko, so B tier. Had a bunch of good moments, and was one of the better examples of a non-bender combatant in the show.
Oh hi, I'm a cool but rude guy. Put you back in school with the tip of my two.
One thing I love is, like, with shows like with all these, like, with all these magic powers, the characters that doesn't have any magical powers, like, it just makes their badassery stand out even more. The inventor guy, unlike a certain other, no, never mind, good thing in today's world, science isn't primarily utilized for warfare. That's always, plus. But anyway, this was a great character, really showed the, power of, test science nowadays. I mean, back then. And now now time for the halftime show. I just want to, okay, Momo. A tier really felt like just the cute mascot, marketable mascot. Had a few good moments, but he is really just, I mean, he's really just there for comic relief. But he did have an epic showdown with Appa in, like, that Season 3 Dream episode, so, A tier. And now it's time for my, halftime show. The halftime show. Just want to give my opinions on the 2010 Last Airbender movie. I remember seeing with my dad the moment it came out in theaters. Back when I was obsessed with the show. I was really proud of I was 10 when I saw it. Didn't like it as much, and of course I don't think it's a bad movie, but I think it's just way overhated. Like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, there's anything wrong. I mean, of course it's a bad movie. It's just the sheer scale of the hate for the movie. Some guy making a film, calling it a documentary longer than the film itself, calling it the worst movie ever, 10 years after it was released. That's just overkill, like, completely redundant, saying nothing, just like making an hour-long response to when someone doesn't like your stupid hemorrhoid weasel movie because it sucked, which it did. Now we get to Fire Lord Ozai, S tier. I feel like this is one of the best cartoons villains of all time, of course, like, but not in a vacuum. I really feel like he sounds like he's just like one other line in like the generation of evil dictators for the Fire Nation. And how much of a foil he is to everyone in the series, to his brother, his son, his grandfather. And it was one of the most epic final bosses in animation history. So yeah, Fire Lord Ozai, sort of like Father from Full Metal Alchemist, where he's not that good a villain in a vacuum, but really just really complements the story itself. Grandpaku, I think that's what his name was. A tier. He's the stern traditionalist. But on the other hand, he does have learn over time and does have some character development. And he was a part of the White Lotus thing, that Lotus show on Netflix my mom's talking about or something. Oh, the jackass I made a response to on Twitter, saying something on Twitter or something. Piano, A tier. Pianos are good instruments, and on the other hand, swordsmanship, it's really like how they managed to have appreciation for the swordsmanship, even in a show where like 90% of the main cast are wizards. So, A tier. That guy was B tier, don't remember him. Yep. You know, Avatar Way of Water, that film, here's my review of it. I feel like they made the human characters, or the human faction, just a bit too sympathetic and likable. And I also thought that the film just had way too much padding to it, went too slowly. The dialogue didn't understand show don't tell. Would have had a more of a thorough discussion, except you sarcastically clap during one fucking scene, and your dad goes nuts over it. You sarcastically clap during one scene when the villains are clapping just make one fucking random gesture and they go nuts. It's bad, and don't just not do stupid actions, don't just not say stupid stuff, make one offhanded gesture, and then he goes, and then you're somehow breaking every social mores. Give your whole fucking... Avatar Roku, S tier. On the one hand, he has a fairly old wise sage design, but on the other hand, he's the main character's past life. And in episode 3 is what gets him to S tier, how he really managed to completely flesh out the Fire Nation and Element. It has one of the most badass showdowns in the series. Manages to stop a freaking volcano, and he's voiced by the narrator to the Harry Potter trailers. So yeah, Avatar Roku, no, not that shitty tech service thing that's up nowadays. He was a great character, great exposition character to the role of the Avatar. That guy, voiced by Chum Chum from Fanboy and Chum Chum, B tier. Sokka, okay, this guy is just A tier, the inventor, the clever warrior, the tactician, Following in his dad's footsteps, he is just A tier through and through. Jack DeSena gave a great performance. And really like how he goes from the crazy, overprepared, self-proclaimed leader to the team dad, I would say. Managing to keep everyone in line and hold everyone together. But one underrated scene with him is like when trying to keep to the schedule, he advises that they have lunch break and the bathroom break at the same time, which is honestly genius. More people should learn from him. Avatar Sozin, A tier character, really shows like the start of darkness, like the roots of the colonialist mindset, while showing where it was started, not the end result. Like he was a corrupt ruler over time, but he wasn't born that way. I feel like his turn to the darkness could have been a bit like had given a bit more of an explanation. I mean, it was a huge time skip, so I'm just kind of split. But what gets him into the A tier is that he's voiced by the classic Ron Perlman. Suki, A tier. I mean, she was a classic character, but she really felt like, split. I really feel like, she only had one big moment in Season 1, one big moment in Season 2, and then became a major character. She was good love interest for Sokka, but yeah, I mean, she was, by all accounts, A tier. I really feel like she just cemented herself more. Great character design, I guess. Wheelchair Kid, A tier, really good, disability rep. The boulder! Can you smell what the boulder's cooking? Well, A tier because he was probably very good at reconnaissance. Reconnaissance! Come on, that's hilarious! That guy, B tier. Tough. Okay, Tough was one of the best characters in the entire series. Classic. One of the greatest examples of a kick-ass female character in animation. Great, disability rep, I'm kind of split on it. But anyway, I mean, we all love Tough. She's badass. She rocks. Get it? Rocks. And she has great talent with echolocation, as you can see in the clip right here.
I release a sonic wave from my mouth. There. I got a pretty good look at you.
But yeah, Toph, I mean, she is a classic member of the series, so S tier, of course. Great encapsulation of like the themes of the Earth element. Tylee, A tier because she was cute, I guess. Ursa, on the one hand, I find it kind of unbearable how she has an unbearable name, but on the other hand, I really feel like they were trying to like just like distract people and try and like her story, like the fact that they had so many references to her mysterious disappearance in the first and second series, and then they have it shelved away in a DLC graphic novel. Just felt like another thing of like the commercial aspect of these shows, like trying to get you to buy the separate piece of the story.
Your mommy will buy it for you, Tommy, if she loves you.
Or merchandise. Wan Shi Tong. I'll just say that this character was a hoot. So yeah, A tier, but I feel like he's an example of how a lot of the spirit stuff was kind of underutilized. Like, this was one of my favorite episodes because I love going down to the libraries back when I was like 18 and not in my car. I love driving to like random libraries in my system, like 15 minutes away, like trying to like visit all of them. But yeah, this character was a hoot. These two, B tier, they were good arc villains that just showed up randomly one day and then vanished. Yue, on the one hand, she only appeared for like 3 episodes, but, I mean, she had like a decently tragic, if short-lived, romance with, Sokka. And, I feel like there are a bunch of, moon jokes I could make. But I'm just going to, I mean, you can't have them all, so, do you guys got any good moon jokes? Oh wait, I got one. Admiral Zhao. A tier, I think he's a great example of an arc villain. Like, as in, like, he was only there for 1 season, a high-ranking villain. But I really like how he, like, uses both knowledge and tactical prowess, in, battle, which was epic. He really shows, like, the danger of disrespecting nature, the natural order. And he had, like, a decent, better to die than to be killed, like, ending scene. And as an added, like, bonus, he is voiced by none other than the legendary Jason Isaacs. And now we get to, final, last but certainly not least, everybody's favorite emo boy, Zuko. This was one of the most classic, characters in animation. Pioneered the, like, badass Scar trope. Very, easily one of the best, like, redemption arcs, starting out as a villain. Yes, a villain, an unquestioning servant to an evil government. Villain, had, like, an understandable goal, like, had a long journey, learned along the way, genuinely, questioned his values, finally stood up to his dad, joined Team Avatar, and the highlight of the series, and, had an epic, arc, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Zuko's arc, that goes almost completely without saying, one of the most iconic characters in Western animation. So, there it is. My ranking for all of the characters in Avatar, The Last Airbender. So yeah, there we go. I'm done. And this is the somehow the first series out of all of them where all of the characters are B tier, no C tier, no D tier, and no characters making it into the area of the whole landfill. So there we go. Time to go edit this thing. Bye guys. See you next time.